Today's video is going to be sort of a cleanup video. Not something I'm cleaning up, but all these little things that I've done that I wanted to put on video that probably wouldn't take a whole video, and it would just be just a bunch of clips that I put up there. So I thought I'd combine everything in one shot, and very little small things on things that I've previously done videos on. And I'll try to link everything into the description so I get everything in there for you. Sorry for the way I sound a little bit. I've got a bit of a cold. That's what happens when you go out and 50-degree weather, it gets soaking wet, and then it drops down to like 30 when you're outside working. So without further ado, we're going to start on the different things right now. First, we're going to talk about my STEN Mark II. What I've done is I went on a mission to change it over to a more reliable platform. And the point was that the STEN has a very small battery space, and it was very hard to get any kind of batteries that would last any time. And like I said in my one video, I had 4 small batteries, and you would play a couple of rounds, you know, firing, because it's a full auto gun. Even if you had a MOSFET in it that would limit the fire, still you'd go through 4 batteries in a day because they were so small. What I've done is I've converted this over to what I call a Mark V. Now, what a Mark V does is, in essence, from what I'm being told, hopefully this is right, a Mark V has the wooden stock, the wooden pistol grip, wooden front grip, and the steel sights on the front. What I did was bought all real steel vintage parts for this. Found them on eBay, whatever, you know, they might be, I think the stock was circa 1950s. So this is a real wooden stock, and like I said in the video before, I drilled it out, drilled the headpiece out so I could run wires in it so I could get a larger 7.4 in there. In addition, what I've done is drilled into the headpiece and attached the pistol grip, real steel pistol grip, and also the real steel foregrip that I put on here too, and the real steel front sight. Now the real I can't talk right. The real steel front sight slips over the barrel, and the Airsoft outer barrel is actually a lot bigger than a regular barrel, I guess. So I had to grind out the internals of this sight and then put it back on. And I couldn't get the original screw back in it because it didn't quite mesh right. So I have a steel pin in this that holds that in there nice, and you have a nice sight picture when you use it. So that's the upgrade on that particular one. I'm going to show a picture, a more close-up picture of it right after this. Now this is the follow-up to a mag question that was asked me about mags for the STEN. Now the mags that come that work with the STEN also work with the AGM MP40, and I bought enough mags that I could split between the two. My rig normally has a 4 mag pouch belt holder, and I usually have 1 in the gun and maybe 1 in a drop bag that I have. So I have a total of 6, but they're a combination of different style mags. Now I always denote with tape what kind of mag it is. This is a 55 round metal low cap. Feeds flawlessly, and because of the way the STEN feeds from the side, every BB comes out. So if you put in 55 rounds, it's going to shoot 55 rounds. Next thing they have, and I denote by yellow on most of my mags, it's a mid cap. AGM and various companies make, I think King Arms makes this one, it's a polymer 110 round mag. So now you're in the mid cap range, you carry 5 or 6 of these, you're good for the day. So I mix up a combination of low caps and mid caps when I'm using my gun. And I would rather have these two than this next one. I went out and I saw this online. It is a high cap, winding wheel on the bottom for the STEN. Now, it also works with the MP40. And I think on the MP40 it would work like a champ because the BBs would flow up underneath the gun. But because of the way the STEN is set up, with the magazine being fed on the side, so it's laying horizontal like this, I only get like 15 shots, and then I got to wind the wheel, and then I get about 15 shots, then I got to wind the wheel. And the big thing to remember on this, when I have this in the gun, okay, when I want to wind it, I have to put it down to get it to wind correctly. If I try to wind it here, it doesn't wind right on the side. So I have to put the mag almost vertical so that I can wind it. And even with that, you're only getting about 15 shots out of this. And it's not very efficient. So 15 shots, wind the wheel, 15 shots, wind the wheel, 15 shots, wind the wheel. It's not advantageous. And for $24, you could buy 2 mid caps and have 250 rounds compared to the 230 that this has. So that is, like, if someone's looking for a high cap for their MP40, this might work like a champ for you. If you're looking for a high cap for this, stick with the low caps or the mid caps. You'd be better off all the way around. And I will put links in the description for all 3 of these mags if you're interested. Next thing we're going to touch on is a video I did on my M50. It's a Crosman Air Mag M50. And it takes mags for, they're like this, 50 round mags that are from the TF11. They also work in this. And I just found out recently it's hard to get the TF11. So what I did on this particular replica is I added a folding stock. Let me see if I can get this right. Oh yeah, push down. Okay, it now has a folding stock. You put some downward pressure, it bends in, clips, stays in place. Push down again, pull it back out, and you can get a tight profile on the gun. Not that it's going to shoot any more accurately, but it does give it the nice look to be able to do this. And this is a special thanks to a couple of people on the Facebook group, Airsoft Tech Q&A. When one person mentioned about, why don't you buy one of these cheap springers that has the metal stock on it and just transfer it over. And I did. I actually just took it out of the one gun, 4 screws, and I JB weld the back end on this, and it's solid. This is the original gun that I took it out of. It was 10 bucks on Amazon. 120 round mag, and look at that follower sticking way up there. This shoots like very low, but if you put 2 O's in this, they sail out there to 100 feet. I had someone shooting 125 feet with this. He needed a pistol for a pistol game we had, and as a joke, I gave him this, and he got like 4 kills in the game, which on the cold weather, if you hit somebody in the gear, they're not going to feel it, but he was shooting people and bouncing it off their goggles, and that's how accurate this thing was at like 50 feet. He was dead nuts on with it. It's a lot of fun. So what I did is took the gun apart, and this part on the gun back here, the actual stock, actually just slipped out, so I didn't have to cut nothing or do anything else like that, and I was able to attach it right on. I put a piece of plexiglass in the back here. It's a little loose, but it seals the back end up so nothing gets in there. Also, why I had it apart, I just lubed up the O-ring on the cylinder, and it's actually got a pretty good seal, but there's only so much you can get out of this gun. I don't know what the FPS is, but it is a lot of fun to shoot. 120 round mag. It's a lot of fun. So that was the update on this. I actually got the stock on there, and with the mag in it, there's the full look that you get. It's looks very nice now. And this is metal, which is shocking on a plastic gun for like 10 bucks. So that's the update on that one. I'll try and show a picture after this. Now this is an update for the Tapp Airsoft drum mag. I got one for my M9 Barry Burton, which is what this version is here, and I also got one for my KCO2. Both have the flash drum mags on them, and one little gotcha that I found was that it doesn't have enough pressure to keep the 3 O's that I want to shoot in the pistol up. We put 2 5s in, it seems like it runs like a champ. Now, in the interim, what I've got is an electric drum mag to try on the pistol with 3/0s to see how it shoots. I haven't done that yet, but I will. This portion of the video is about the HPA tap that's on here. As you can see in the certain videos I had where the tap comes straight out, it does interfere with certain pistols and things like that and how your rig is. But in that, like Tapp Airsoft said to me, it depends on how your rig is. If it's coming right off your gear, fine. If it's coming underneath, down below, maybe it's going to hang wrong. With that valve straight out, it just seemed like that was a failure point, that if too much pressure was put on it, it would have break it right off. So what I opted for was a 45 degree and a 90 degree. Now this 90 degree has a swivel on it. It doesn't swivel that much, but it does swivel if the thing would happen to move. It keeps them tighter to the drum, or to the drum mag itself. And I'll zoom in so you can see that right away. Whoa. Focus. There you go. It does keep it tighter to the drum mag. And here's an example of, if this was here, that would be the 90 straight down. That's the thread sticking out there that actually goes in the drum mag straight across like that. So there's the 90. What this does in essence is when you have the gun sitting here, the line on my particular rig comes at a 45 degree angle up in here, and it's usually hanging down around my hip as I'm shooting. So there's not a lot of pressure on this particular line. Plus, this is brass. This fitting is steel. It's a little bit beefier. And with this, I have two different lengths of this vented tap screw. I have a 3/4 and a 7/8, depending on the fitting. Screwed into the fitting, screwed into here so you can get it so it tightens right up. Of course, you put some plumber's tape on it. Doesn't leak. It's great seal, and it's solid as a rock. I wouldn't be afraid to drop this. Oh, I'm not gonna, but I wouldn't be afraid to drop this accidentally and hit it on the ground. It is tough. Both of these fittings are. I'll try to give a parts list for both of these that I got. You don't have to go with the swivel fitting. I went for it just to try it, but any 90 degree fitting will work. That'll get this tighter into here. I went with a little bit farther out because, one, I wanted to be able to get to this screw better. I could always put an Allen in there and get that out. And if I got it too tight, it might be too close for to get the line on. Now I do have one fitting that puts it right across here really close. Okay, and I said to the one friend of mine, I said, if you put like Velcro on the bottom with a strap, you could actually keep the line right against the drum mag. But that in essence would be depending on your rig. If you want to have your line straight down, that's fine, or you want to have a 45 degree. I'll give all the links for this stuff in the video, and I'll put a picture, a close-up picture of these fittings, my before and after fittings I was using right after this. And the last thing we're going to go over is a little shout out that I'm going to give to two people. Palmer's Pursuit Shop. Okay, I'm going to put a link in the description. That's where I get all the do-it-yourself fittings for the HPA stuff. They gave me a lot of good hints on what I could use and things that I could do. So, you know, if you guys need to put fittings together yourself, they have everything you need. From the Foster, quick disconnects with back check, to all the fitting sizes, 10, 32nd, that you will need. Now, the threaded the vented thread set screws, I had to get off of Amazon. They had the best price, and they come in lots of 10s, so if you have to do a couple of mags, that actually is the way to go. And the male versions of the Foster Quick Disconnect, Palmer's has, but if you want to get the female version, you have to go to another location, and I'll put a link for AMP. They have the actual fittings. Okay. Another shout out is to Tapp Airsoft. I asked about it, and they sent them to me. The bottom off my M9 mag, okay, which includes the gas fitting. Doesn't have the O-ring, which is usually take off, but this is for an M9 mag. So if you have a leaking M9 mag and you buy the M9 mag with that. They sent me everything right here. I would have liked to have got the follower and the spring and all that, but you know, this is fine too. And an M4 top off one of the drum mags. Alright, so now I have 3 drum mags, and I'm probably not going to use the one flash mag. So I probably will put this on the flash mag, and somebody will have an M4. I'll probably end up selling that one. You can use this to run it off an M4 with a flash mag, so I might be selling that with the one drum mag. So special shout out to Tapp Airsoft for sending this stuff along to me. I hope you enjoyed this mishmash video of all the different things that I have got gathered up here. A lot of little projects that I have. My next thing that I have is I'm doing an update to my goggle setup using a one Tigris mesh mask and an Element or a Lancer Tactical frameless goggle. I'm doing a little update on that because I want to update my rig to use them, and that video should be coming out pretty soon. As always, I hope you guys have a good day. You learned something from this, got some ideas for yourself, and if you haven't, like always, if you have any questions, just leave them in the description below, or try to follow me on my Keeper Facebook page or the Nepa-Airsoft Facebook page. You guys have a good one.